The first phase will be introduced in June and will require all food delivery companies to display their corporate branding on both their delivery boxes and on the drivers' uniforms. Each driver will also be assigned a unique identification number to ensure greater accountability.
It's been in the pipeline for a while now. I think as the industry has actually grown, I think there's more and more delivery drivers out there, and we almost rely on them on a daily basis. As they were the heroes during COVID, I think, to an extent. But obviously there has been no real control or sanitization in how some of them operate. And now it's about just ensuring that they all meet the minimum standards that the government would like them to actually be at.
To make sure that all drivers are legally employed, they will need a delivery driver card that will be issued when a valid work contract is presented. At this stage, there will be a green card for those who present a driving licence or who've undergone compulsory basic road training, and a red card for those who haven't.
I think it's a very easy field to actually jump into and just start working without having paperwork in order. Again, which is probably the idea of where the card comes in the initiating of you've got to show the government your paperwork to actually be allowed to conduct delivery driver things again. Until then, you don't go to an office, you don't actually turn up anywhere, you can just log onto an app and you can start working. How do you control that? So the card, although it isn't foolproof, I think it does act as initial to ensure that initially you do have a contract and you've shown the government, therefore we will give you your card, you can carry on with your employment.
Enforcement will see penalties for non-compliance of £300 fines to the driver and the employer. Although not foolproof, the government believes the measures will go a long way towards addressing concerns.
I think one of them is, again, from a public perspective, is how they conduct themselves on the public highway. I think how some of them drive are quite dangerous. I think the vehicles that they use shouldn't be the way they're being used. There's no demarcation. If there are instances someone gets run over or your food is brought, mixed up or whatever, there is no accountability. You can't even identify who brought the food, so how do you even start the complaint process? Mm-hmm. So what we're doing is allowing the public to actually identify whatever the incident is, they can actually identify, and there's some sort of accountability to what has actually happened. I think as well it just makes it look much more professional. I think it looks better. I think you know who's driving, you know what companies bring your food. It just looks, and the image is better control, and obviously minimum standards the government expects.
Phase 2 will be introduced in June next year. The red card will disappear and a minimum driving competence is required, as well as roadworthiness certificates for all vehicles. Phase 3 comes in December 2026, with food hygiene and road safety training added to the requirements. The penalties for non-compliance increase, with impound fees and fixed penalty notices issued to drivers and employers for not having up-to-date delivery driver cards. An information and engagement campaign will begin immediately, with fixed penalty notices to be issued from September. Drivers will be given information leaflets in both English and Spanish. The government will also be amending the current PLET legislation, with thrust-controlled e-bikes and scooter confiscated if they don't comply with the law.